The dark secrets of history's heroes. We know the legends. The flawless paragons of courage, wisdom, and virtue staring back at us from textbooks and marble pedestals. We're told their stories, polished, simplified, often sanitized. But what if that gleaming image is just the cover? What if behind the monuments and the stirring quotes lie choices so jarring, beliefs so ugly, or actions so contradictory, they force us to completely rethink the narrative? Today, we're not just reading history, we're cracking it open. We're stepping into the shadows cast by those blinding spotlights. Forget the fairy tales. We're confronting the messy, morally tangled, and profound human reality of the people we've been taught to worship. Why? Because understanding the truth, the brilliance and the darkness is the only way history becomes real, relevant, and genuinely powerful. But some of these revelations aren't just surprising, they are world-shaking. The heroic illusion and the weight of reality. We aspire perfect heroes, don't we? Beacons of pure good in a confusing world. Figures who always knew the right path, who never wavered, who embody ideals we struggle to reach ourselves. It's inspiring, comforting, but here's the seismic shift. Heroes are human. Flesh and blood. Flawed. Complex. They felt doubt, wrestled with temptation, made choices fueled by ambition, fear, prejudice, or the crushing weight of their era, just like a star. That impossibly high pedestal we built, it doesn't elevate them, it distorts them. It turns living, breathing people into impossible myths. Recognizing their shadows isn't an act of destruction, it's an act of seeing. It's about understanding the immense pressures, the deeply ingrained societal biases, the terrifying forks in the road they faced. Only when we grapple with their full humanity, the light, the dark, can we truly measure the staggering weight of their achievements and the devastating impact of their failures. This isn't tearing down history. It's building Thomas Jefferson, the architect of freedom and enslavement. Take Thomas Jefferson. The soaring intellect, the pen behind the most revolutionary words in American history. All men are created equals. Liberty's champion, the ultimate symbol of enlightened freedom, who meticulously recorded the lives, births, deaths, and forced labor of over 600 human beings he claimed as property. Think about that seismic contradiction. Drafting a blueprint for a nation founded on inherent equality while systematically denying that very humanity, that very equality, to the people living and suffering on his own plantation. This isn't just casual hypocrisy, it's the agonizing, foundational crack in America's soul. How could the visionary who dreamt of freedom be its most intimate jailer? Was it a monstrous blind spot, unthinkable economic necessity? The brutal normalization of his time? Jefferson embodies the terrifying chasm between humanity's highest ideals and its deepest compromises. His secret wasn't whispered, it was an open, festering wound on the very promise he helped articulate. Understanding Jefferson means staring directly into that abyss. Christopher Columbus, the discoverer, who unleashed a nightmare. Then there's Christopher Columbus. For centuries, the myth, the intrepid explorer, braving the unknown, discovering a new world. Textbooks showed heroic ships and grateful natives, but the reality his own journals reveal is a horror story. His arrival wasn't discovery, it was the opening act of a brutal invasion. Conquest. His achievement unleashed waves of unimaginable violence, systematic enslavement, and devastating diseases that decimated entire indigenous civilizations. Millions died. Cultures erased. Calling it discovery isn't just inaccurate, it's an erasure of the vibrant, complex societies that had thrived for millennia. Columbus actively participated in and documented atrocities. His secret is now undeniable. His legacy forces a brutal reckoning. Who exactly benefits when we celebrate exploration built on suffering? What does it mean to be a hero when your heroism is someone else's genocide? Theodore Roosevelt, the bully pulpit and the bully. Theodore Roosevelt. The energy. The bully moose. The trust-busting champion. The conservation giant who saved America's wild places. A titan of action, but even this force of nature cast long, dark shadows. While preaching square deal, fairness at home, he was a fervent cheerleader for American imperialism abroad, seeing the seizure of territories like the Philippines as the white man's burden. And perhaps most shockingly, during the fever pitch of World War I, Roosevelt became one of the loudest, most influential voices demanding the mass internment of German-American citizens. Not spies. Citizens. Sound familiar? It was a chilling, direct precedent for the later internment of Japanese Americans. This fierce defender of a certain kind of justice was terrifyingly quick to deny basic rights to those he deemed foreign or disloyal in times of fear. The image of the purely righteous, rugged cowboy president shatters, revealing a man capable of both inspiring vision and deeply ingrained, dangerous prejudice. Abraham Lincoln, the evolving emancipator, even the great emancipator, Abraham Lincoln, demands a closer look beneath the marble. We revere him as the unwavering moral compass who ended slavery. But his journey was far more complex, pragmatic, and politically fraught than the saintly image suggests. His absolute, unwavering goal: preserving the Union. Ending slavery became the crucial means to that end. Early in his presidency, he actively supported and promoted plans for the colonization of freed black people, sending them to Africa or Central America. The Immortal Emancipation Proclamation, issued primarily as a devastating military tactic against the Confederacy, applying only to rebelling states, not a universal declaration of freedom. Lincoln's views on race, equality, and the future of black Americans in the U.S. evolved dramatically, pushed by the horrors of war, relentless abolitionist pressure, especially from Frederick Douglass, and his own deepening moral conviction. His genius lay in his profound capacity for growth. But his starting point, rooted in the political realities and pervasive racism of his time. His secret is the messy, morally ambiguous reality of leading a fractured nation through its darkest hour, a testament that even monumental good can emerge from complex, even compromised, origins. Winston Churchill, the Bulldog's bite. Let's cross the Atlantic. Winston Churchill, the indomitable British bulldog who rallied the free world against Nazi tyranny. His speeches are etched in history. But his legacy has another, deeply troubling side, particularly regarding the British Empire. As a young man and throughout his career, he held fiercely racist views about non-white peoples, describing various colonized populations in appalling terms. Most damningly, his policies as Prime Minister during World War II are widely seen as exacerbating, if not causing, the devastating Bengal famine of 1943. Millions starved to death in India while Churchill prioritized food supplies for European stockpiles and troops, dismissing reports of the famine and making callous remarks about Indians breeding like rabbits. The man who was a hero to millions in Europe presided over unimaginable suffering for millions under British rule. His secret forces us to confront the brutal realities of empire and the uncomfortable truth that one person can simultaneously embody defiance against evil and profound disregard for other human lives. Mahatma Gandhi, the saint with stumbles, even figures synonymous with peace and moral purity have complex layers. Take Mahatma Gandhi, the apostle of nonviolence, the liberator of India, an icon of global resistance. But his journey towards that saintly image wasn't linear. During his early years in South Africa, while fighting against discrimination towards Indians, he expressed deeply troubling views about black Africans, using derogatory language and initially positioning Indians as superior. While he later evolved significantly, these early views reflect the pervasive racism of the colonial world he inhabited. Gandhi's secret isn't a hidden crime, but a reminder that even the most revered moral leaders are products of their time and capable of profound growth, and that their path to enlightenment can be marked by stumbles we must acknowledge to understand the full arc of their transformation. The power of the full picture, beyond cancellation. So, what now? After all this, are Jefferson, Columbus, Roosevelt, Lincoln, Churchill, Gandhi? Are they cancelled, stripped of any admiration? Absolutely not. That's missing the point entirely. This isn't about demolition, it's about depth. This journey is about clarity, not cancellation. These were undeniably influential figures. They shaped nations, moved millions, achieved remarkable things that echo through time. They were flawed humans who made terrible choices, held reprehensible beliefs, or were deeply entangled in the brutal systems of their era. By confronting their shadows, we don't extinguish their light, we finally see it clearly. We see the staggering cost of progress, the agonizing weight of contradiction, the sheer, messy humanity of it all. History isn't a comic book of pure heroes and villains. It's lived entirely in the murky, morally ambiguous, profoundly complicated gray zone. Our heroes didn't exist on a pristine mountaintop, they waded through that gray, just like we do. Understanding this complexity doesn't diminish history, it makes it real. It makes it humbling, it makes it infinitely more interesting and ultimately, far more meaningful. It challenges us to think critically, to resist simple narratives, and to recognize that the figures shaping our world today are just as complex, carrying their own shadows and light. Call to action and looking ahead. What do you think? Does knowing Winston Churchill's role in the Bengal famine change how you view his wartime leadership? Does Gandhi's early struggle with prejudice make his later philosophy more, or less, remarkable? Does seeing Lincoln's pragmatism alongside his moral growth make him more human? Who's asked another historical hero, whose hidden story or complex reality deserves this deep dive? Blast your thoughts, your debates, your suggestions in the comments below. I read every single one. This conversation is crucial. This journey into the uncomfortable, essential truths of history fascinated you. If you believe in seeing the past with clear eyes, smash that like button. It tells YouTube this matters. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next investigation. Trust me, we've only just begun to pull back the curtain. Next time, we might delve into the hidden lives of revered artists, the dark sides of scientific pioneers, or the explosive secrets behind beloved cultural icons. The past is full of shadows waiting to be explored.